what we have here is Enus's outgoing executive luxury sedan. The Cognoscenti, not the 55, not the little one. The proper long wheelbase Cognoscenti, no additives to the end. All we have is a big engine at the front, power going to the rear, and enough legroom for the back seats to fit an elephant. It's a brilliant car, designed for the businessman to have his chauffeur drive him around at any speed he wants. Very slowly, or not slowly at all. It's a great car. But it is a few years old, so, to keep going with the times, Enus is replacing it with a new car, styled after their new Paragon R sports car, the Deity. It looks absolutely phenomenal. And like the outgoing Cognoscenti, it is a rear-wheel drive, massive power plant luxury sedan, which means it's got the handling, in theory, of the Cognoscenti, but it's got more advanced interiors, so it's more focused on the back seats, to be even more comfortable for the businessman. But let's not drown too much on the interior, because this thing shares more than the Paragon R's face. It shares its colossal V12 engine. This thing is absolutely mental. No, it's not Shafter V12 mental, that's a bit too far, but in replace of a maniacal engine from the V12, this V12 is much more refined, which means it's slower, but it's quieter and it's smoother. Although it does still have its problems in the snow. Whoa! You see, it delivers a lot of torque very quickly to the rear wheels, which is good for launch. But in this weather, or even in the dry, it's very oversteery. And while sure, that makes it incredibly fun, for a chauffeur driving his businessmen around, I'm not sure it's what you want on a day-to-day basis. Especially because the Deity has a rival, but it's not the V12. In fact, it's a rival within its own family. A rival from Enus themselves. Because for about the same money, at the same time, with the same amount of horsepower, you can have one of these. Yes, you would have this, the Enus Jubilee, a high-riding, luxury SUV that is very similar to the Deity. It's got a V12, it's got 20 more horsepower, so 595, and it costs about the same, $1.6 plus million. Now that's a lot. Now you do get something the size of a house. It's incredibly spacious and equally as comfortable as the Deity. However, this massive V12 has an all-wheel drive system attached to it, and in this type of weather, that is much better. Now, the SUV thing, it's a little ridiculous by now. They're meant to go off-road, or at least they were originally meant to. This is probably the closest that the Jubilee will ever get to off-roading, but it can sort of do it. But it's not really at home here. I mean, it's at home at the golf course parking lot, not so much on the golf course itself, but it is far better than the Deity. Which got me thinking, let's take it off of where it's not comfortable, and put it back where it is comfortable for a comparison between the Deity and the Jubilee. That, of course, means a hot lap circuit around where it's only going to be visible. Downtown, luxury-focused, high-end Los Santos. Because if you have one of these cars, you're gonna want to show it off. And why not show off that it's faster than the other? Well, in order to find out, we gotta do some hot laps. I'm gonna be honest, I'm a little scared, because it's only 20 less horsepower, and it's rear-wheel drive. And they weigh, sure, it's a lot less, not a crazy amount less, but it's still less because of the all-wheel drive on the other one, but I'm very scared. Yep, that's a lot of wheels, but I was only at half throttle there too. And it just, it's not very planted here, that is for sure. It's got oversteer and understeer, just not turning in any way because of the snow. The tires are not really up to par on this. I get a little bit of understeer midway through the corner, and on the exit I get massive, oh my god, massive amount of oversteer at the slightest throttle or crest or bump or anything. It's not very quick. Even on this straightaway, I can only use a little bit of the power, then I get on the brakes and I'm not stopping. And then we have a hairpin and it's just more sideways. This is fun, but not fast. It's a little bit scary too because of the price tag, but we are across the line. Oh, let's hope the other one's a little better. Right. All-wheel drive. That is what we want. And that's what this has. It also has a few $100 more for the curb weight. So, there's that. If understeer was a problem on the Deity, it's going to be more of a problem on this. Oh, but that traction is so nice. You already see it's faster off the line. It's clearly not going to have the same pure handling, especially if it was on a dry track. But on this conditions, understeer, in these conditions, it might just be enough for the SUV to overcome. We shall see, though. Turning in, there's just nothing on the turning, but it doesn't matter because I get on the power so much earlier and so much more consistently. I'm not sliding around like a madman. I'm not turning very much either, but I definitely would prefer understeer to traumatic oversteer and wheel spin. This thing is actually pretty good for what it is. I mean, it's not, the top SUVs like the Tauros, but it's not supposed to be. It's a luxury vehicle, and for what it is, I'm actually kind of liking it, which is weird. I'm not expecting that to happen. Around the hairpin, we have a little bit of a four-wheel drift, but that's just because of the conditions. Much better than the Deity, and we are across the line. Yeah, I like that one. Can I have this one instead? At least for outlapping? Okay, so the Jubilee is massively faster. 6 seconds a lap faster, in fact, than the Deity. It crushed it, humiliated it. But to be honest, that is completely irrelevant. It was fun, but irrelevant, because these vehicles are about showing off. They're luxurious, they're comfortable, they're almost ostentatious in their price tag and level of exclusivity. And if you're gonna have that, then you gotta have the big one, the one that shines in the face of everybody else with its luxury paint and its chrome. You gotta have the Jubilee.